Ryan Peck says, you've been in front of the camera for many years now. What point did talking to a lens become comfortable? That's a really interesting question. For me, I had a lot of acting training in my late teen years. So that gave me that gave me a lot of comfort and practice with moving my body around while people were watching. That can be the difficult part of performance. But also there was this, when Jamie and I sent in a demo reel for Mythbusters, and this is like April of 2002, the thought how good I might be on camera wasn't even occurring to me, right? At this point, I've had over 10,000 hours of being filmed in my life. It's been such a significant portion of my life. But back then, it was maybe like, 45 minutes to a few hours of being filmed total in my life. The part where I started getting comfortable with it, the part where I started feeling like I knew what was landing and how came about probably seasons 2, 3, 4 of Mythbusters. Definitely not the first season. Probably not for much of the second season until later on. Look, watching yourself on camera is awful. It's no fun. Listening to your own voice is horrendous because it's so radically different from what we experience. And when you've been on camera for a few dozen hours and you're watching it and you're having to review these cuts and talk about them, at a certain point, the character gets separated from the person. Like you start to understand, oh, okay, I'm pushing out a little more to get this to land. Because the camera sucks up a lot of information. And you've got to, for television specifically, you've got to be a little bit louder and more broad with your gestures for it to show up on the little screen. That's really true. And I wasn't really able to objectively assess that kind of camera work for at least probably 2.5 years of the show. Patrick Hennessy, yeah, this is good. For guest builds, do you prefer to have one guest, like when you had Fawn Davis do the modeling build? Or would an additional guest, Dave Fogler, for example, be too much? Are you like reading our internal emails where we talk about me and Dave and Fawn just building stuff together? It depends. In general, it's always easier to work with one other person on camera. Always. It's just more focused. And it's a little bit more difficult to work with two people because you want to balance out, how who's talking and what's getting covered. But for something like building models, like with Fawn and Dave, it's like you could bring in a dozen of my ILM colleagues and that would all be delightful. That would all be thrilling. And we are so happy with the collaborations and we're setting up more all the time. I was talking to Simone last night about a collaboration soon. So when it's with deep friends who I love and love working with, it doesn't matter if it's one or several. In general, in the abstract of what is the easier number to work with on camera, it's one. How important, Vickie Bligh asks this question, how important is your location to you? For example, if you could have the shop of your dreams, but you had to move from San Francisco, would you move? Or is location part of your internal center? Right now, yeah, location is part of my internal center. I fell in love with San Francisco the first morning I woke up in it in 1988, and I have been that level of in love with the city ever since. And my breath is taken away by the city every day. And it's not too much to say this city helped me find myself. In 1990, when I moved out here, I had graphic design experience, theater experience, a little bit of film experience with film students. And San Francisco was the perfect petri dish for me. It was the perfect growth medium for this brain to go find what it needed to know about the world in order to make its contribution. And yeah, if I had the shop of my dreams and it was somewhere else, I might go to the shop of my dreams. But right now, also, I will tell you that in San Francisco, and specifically my neighborhood, the Mission District, ever since COVID, the Mission has just been getting better and better and better. Like, and by better, what I mean is it feels more local. It feels more localized. It feels more like a community. I know many of the vendors and stores that I buy from on a first name basis, and I feel like I live in a neighborhood. You know, everybody around here knows that I live around here, and they're really gracious and sweet. And there's a way in which, like, the Mission, so the latter part of the aughts before COVID, the Mission felt like a bedroom community of Silicon Valley. We had all these buses going down to Google and Apple, et cetera. And the vibe was less great than I wanted it to be. And COVID sort of cleaned that. It feels like, I don't know the numbers, COVID felt like it cleaned out that bedroom community, and that the people who live here in my neighborhood of the Mission now are all locals. And I know that many of them work in the Valley, and that's fine. It's not a litmus test for me of your ability to live here. It's just about how the neighborhood feels as a vibe. And I'll say, when the neighborhood is full of a bunch of douche bros, and you know who I mean, on a Saturday night, a neighborhood full of douche bros, not a fun place to be. Let's be honest about that. Yeah. So, you know, it's funny because, like, I was born and raised in New York, and New York has, of giant world cities, New York, Rome, Tokyo, New York has so much mythology around it, and it infuses you when you are born there. It's like, yeah, I'm a New Yorker. So for me to give up New York for San Francisco is significant, but I did it overnight, and I've never looked back. Chris Baginski says, at the end of the cosplay mirror build, you hung Picard's captain's jacket from Star Trek Next Generation Season 5 up on the hanger rod. This was... this is such a beautiful piece. Yeah. And Chris Baginski says, my heart skipped a beat at this Easter egg. Is it part of a costume you're assembling? Or is it Norm's? Isn't that funny? No, this is mine. It was a gift from a friend of mine. And it is real suede and I believe real leather. Maybe not real leather here, but yeah, dude, this is a spectacular coat, and the hidden hooks, it's got this whole little hidden hook thing down here. Yeah, this is a gorgeous piece. So no, I'm not assembling a Star Trek costume, even though I also have, I also own one of Chris Pine's captain's uniforms. I did a thing for Paramount. I helped them dedicate part of the Paramount lot to Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy's family came out. It was a whole Star Trek thing for Star Trek Beyond. It was really, really fun. And at the end of it, they sent me, this is funny. I was like, you guys could send me a bit of a costume or something. And they sent me one of Chris Pine's shirts. And I was like, can I have the pants and the shoes too? And they were like, yeah. And they sent it to me. So I have shoes, pants, and shirt of Chris Pine's captain's uniform. The reason you've never seen me wear it is because the material, the shirt material, is so thin. It is so unflattering to me. But it's not the unflattering reason that I don't wear it. It's because it's so thin, my nipples poke out of it. I literally, in my Star Trek captain's uniform, what do you call it? The wardrobe, the zipper wardrobe I have it in, includes what's called nudies, which are nipple covering stickers for wearing a dress where you don't want your high beams on, or in my case, a captain's uniform. Of course, I find myself wondering how many Hollywood movie stars have, that we don't know have to deal with that. That's just a reality. No, Chris Baginski, it's not going to be part of a costume. It's just this was a case of me noticing a costume piece that I thought was excellent. A friend of mine was able to make it extant for me and sent this to me, and I am deeply grateful. I have no idea where I can wear it to a con. That's what I can do. Let's see what's been going on here. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about tested membership. The tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from tested and from YouTube. The tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.